Hey there, Mark Lee. Welcome. Hey there. Welcome to Guitar for the Absolute Beginner at the Sixth String Lounge. This is about the seventh take of me trying to film this. Hopefully I'll get better as we go along. But I've done a couple of posts that are of a text nature. But for some of these things, it's just going to be easier for me to show you. So I've got just doing a quick and dirty little YouTube video on my computer. Hopefully this will work for now. So the first thing you want to do is really start to work on your picking. So what we can do is you can just have an open string. I'll do the low E string. So you want to just work on having your pick perpendicular to the strings as much as you can, and you'll do a downstroke with your pick and then do an upstroke. And then you'll just work on getting to where you have a pretty good fluid motion, that down-up pattern with your pick. Okay, so once you're comfortable with that, you're probably ready to move on and do this guitar chromatic scale warm-up, although it's not really a true chromatic scale because we're not going to include open strings. But this is just a great way to warm up. It's a great way for beginning guitarists to work on getting the coordination between the picking hand and the fretting hand. So I'm going to walk you through it slowly, and then we'll play it with a metronome at a slower speed. Then we'll play it with a metronome at a slightly faster speed so that you have a few different examples of it, and you can start working on it on your own. So starting out, we'll be on the low E string, also known as the sixth string. I usually call the strings out by their letter name. Some people like to use the numbers. Either one is fine. So we'll start on the low E string, the first fret, and I don't think I've talked about fretting yet, but you're going to put your finger behind the actual fret. So when I say the first fret, you look at the first fret. These little metal guys are called frets. Put your index finger behind the first fret. So then you'll play the first fret on the low E string with a downstroke of your pick. Then you're going to move on, and with your next finger, this is called the second finger here, you're going to play with an upstroke the second fret on the low E string. Then this is called the third finger, you're going to move on and play, you guessed it, the third fret of the low E string with a downstroke. Then you're going to play with your pinky finger, this is called the fourth finger, on the fourth fret of the low E string. This will be an upstroke. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to do that across all the strings of the guitar. So then you'll move on to the A string and play 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember to do that down up stroke. So, and then we'll move on to the D string. First through fourth, we'll go down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, frets and fingers. Then we'll move on to the G string. Then we'll move on to the B string. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll move on to the high E string. So there we've worked our way up the chromatic warm-up scale here, and now we're going to work back down. So here we go. So you'll do the fourth fret of the high E string. You're going to pick that with a downstroke. So you had just picked it with an upstroke, and then now you're going to pick it with a downstroke to start the descending chromatic warm-up scale here. So you'll go 4, 3, 2, 1 of the high E string. You'll move down to the B string, 4, 3, 2, 1, with that down up pattern. That's really crucial, is to get that down up picking pattern really consistent and fluid. And that's going to have you well on your way to having a good alternate picking technique. So I'm not going to bore you and walk you through all the way down, but what we're going to do is we'll play it together. I've got it, if you want to play it together, if you'll give me that privilege. If not, you can practice this on your own. But I've got a metronome here set to 60 beats per minute, which is quite slow, but it's a good thing with picking things to use a metronome, start out slow, and then build up the tempo. So we'll start at 60 beats per minute. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Back down. So I got an email about 2/3 of the way through that. That was interesting. And I actually even noticed myself getting a little bit off from the metronome. Also, I got a little bit off on my picking. I need to practice a little bit. But the notes were right. And hopefully that'll give you something to practice to if you want to, like I said. And then now we're going to move, get a little bit higher of a tempo. We're going to go to, let's try about 80, let's do 88. 88 miles per hour seemed to work in Back to the Future, so we'll do 88 beats per minute. And this is getting more into the kinds of tempo you'd have at maybe a medium kind of a rock song. So this is a realistic tempo. So we'll play the same pattern at 88 beats per minute. So there you go. So we've got two tempos that you can practice at, and feel free once you get comfortable with this to practice at faster tempos, slower tempos. Also, once you feel comfortable with this, and you're going to probably start getting kind of bored with it after a while. And this is what I do, and a lot of people do, is you'll just randomly change the notes that you're playing. You might, instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, you might go 1, 3, 2, 4, or 1, 4, 3, 2, or 4, 3, 2, 1. There's a lot of different things, so you can just work through at your own pace and try some different patterns. And again, it's a great way to work on your coordination between your picking hand and your fretting hand. And as you can tell from from this video that I've done, I probably need to be practicing a little bit myself, but hopefully you'll get a little bit out of this and you'll be well on your way to working up a great picking technique, which is very key since a lot of people call guitar picking. You need to know how to pick. So there you go. Mark Lee, Guitar for the Absolute Beginner at the 6 String Lounge. Thank you for being patient with me, and good luck with it. Thanks.